We're taking an electric car around the entire United States to showcase market-based, innovative ways to solve climate change.
22-year-old Benji Backer, a Republican, says conservative values can solve climate change.
There needs to be kind of this transformation of environmentalism from being the token Democrat issue to being an issue that both sides have a stake at the table on. Republicans and conservatives tend to live in rural areas. They tend to live on farms and on ranches and in the mountains. They care about the environment.
Backer's group is proposing a climate contract that, among other things, calls for using technology to remove carbon emissions from fossil fuels, while a phased transition to a cleaner economy takes place. For their part, many Democrats support the Green New Deal, which proposes faster, more extensive actions. Yet, many are open to bipartisan discussions.
We can debate on policy and make compromises. At the basis of what we believe in is that every person deserves a chance to live in a world that isn't burning and flooding.
But ahead of November's presidential election, the COVID-19 pandemic and the economy are what Americans are most concerned about. When it comes to climate change, there is a huge gap between backers of President Donald Trump and his Democratic opponent, Joe Biden.
Just 17% of Trump supporters say that climate change is a very important issue to them this fall, but very different views among Joe Biden supporters. Almost 7 in 10, or 68%, say that climate change is a very important issue to their votes.
Yet, that partisan divide is notably smaller among younger people, the Pew Research Center's polling found.
Young Republicans really think the country should prioritize alternative energy development, things like wind and solar power. And that's a pretty big difference because older Republicans are still a bit more supportive of oil, coal, natural gas.
How you doing, man?
Climate change was only briefly discussed at the first presidential debate, but voters under 35 want to hear more.
It's an issue that deserves far more time to be discussed and far more time for our candidates to be asked those questions because this is about our future.
Young voters want to be more responsible about things going forward, whether that's us on our campuses and just dealing with daily lifestyle changes, but also making sure that we are talking to our legislators.
Independent voters, who make up 40% of the electorate, according to the group Independent Voting, support major structural changes, irrespective of their ages. While young Americans may disagree on the approach to climate change, they want solutions.
Most young people are very passionate and agree about the importance and impact of addressing climate change. Why is it taken for granted that the U.S. government cannot be updated and reinvented so that it addresses the problems that are facing today?
The challenge for young voters now, turning that passion into action.
Typically fewer than half of younger voters end up actually voting. And every 4 years there's a lot of conversation, will young people vote at higher rates than they have in the past? And the most direct answer is we don't know.
Verónica Valderas Iglesias for VOA News, Washington.